Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Relationships are such a cornerstone of our lives, and I'm so glad you're here today to explore how we can nurture them together. Personally, I've seen how small shifts can lead to big transformations in relationships, and I can't wait to share those insights with you. We're going to be talking about the 5 myths that could destroy your relationship and what to do instead. These myths can sneak into even the best relationships, but don't worry because today we're replacing them with simple, proven tools to help your relationship not just survive, but thrive. So get comfortable. This is going to be fun, practical, and totally worth your time. This isn't just another relationship talk. You're about to learn tools that can truly transform how you connect with your partner. By the end of today's workshop, you'll have research backed tools to replace these myths, deepen your connection, and create the kind of relationship that you've always wanted. But before we dive into the myths, let me take a quick moment to introduce myself and share what inspired me to create this workshop. I'm Megan Hayes, and I've been a counselor for 18 years. My passion is helping couples like you build stronger, healthier relationships. Everything I share is grounded in research and real life experience, so you can trust it's proven to work. But I'll be honest, my personal journey has shaped so much of what I teach. Like many of you, I've faced my share of challenges. In 2003, I made the difficult decision to leave an abusive husband with my 2 little ones, who were just 1 and 3 at the time. That experience was tough, but it set me on a path of healing and growth. It inspired me to get my master's in counseling psychology and then work with survivors of abuse and eventually open my own private counseling practice. Over the years, I've combined the research based tools I've learned with the lessons life has taught me. It's this blend of knowledge and compassion and lived experience that I'm bringing to you today. And as you can see from the photos, I've come a long way since those early days, though I'm still a work in progress. I'm sharing this because I want you to know that the tools we'll cover today are grounded in both research and real life. So let's jump in and start uncovering 5 myths that could be impacting your relationship. Have you ever felt like relationships should come with a manual? Most of us don't learn these skills growing up, and that's where things can get tricky. After years of counseling, I realized that so many couples struggle not because they don't love each other, but because they've never been taught how to handle conflict or communicate effectively. And let's face it, those gaps can create distance, frustration, and even resentment. But here's the good news: these are skills you can learn. They're not something you're born with, they're tools anyone can use to create a stronger, healthier connection. That's why I've made it my mission to make these research based tools accessible to anyone who wants to build a happier, more fulfilling partnership. Because no matter how tough things might feel, with the right strategies, you can turn even your most challenging moments into opportunities for closeness. All right, let's get real for a second. How many of you have a phone in one hand, a snack in the other, and at least 8 tabs open on your computer? No judgment, I've been there. But let's try something a little different today. Take a moment to silence those notifications, close those tabs, and set that phone down. Think of this next hour as a gift to yourself and your relationship. You'll get so much more out of this if you can be fully present. And trust me, this is going to be worth your time. Let's start with a quick check in. Have you ever felt like your partner just doesn't quite get you? Do you ever feel misunderstood or unsupported in your relationship? Are you frustrated by the same issues coming up again and again without resolution? Do you wish you had practical tools to communicate your needs and build a stronger bond? If you're saying yes to any of these, you're absolutely in the right place. Maybe you showed up here today because you want a stronger, more connected relationship. Or maybe you're ready to learn skills to handle communication challenges with more understanding and ease. Or maybe you want tools to express your needs and feel heard by your partner. So tell me in the comments, which one speaks to you the most? Are you wanting a stronger, more connected relationship, looking to improve your communication skills, or wanting tools to help you feel heard by your partner? And hey, if you're like, Megan, it's all 3 for me, you're not alone. Feel free to share that too. Whatever brought you here today, I'm so glad you're here and you're in exactly the right place. So let's keep going. Here's the thing. A strong, fulfilling relationship isn't about never fighting or always being perfectly in sync. That's just not real life, right? Instead, it's about building the skills to understand, communicate, and support each other even when things get messy. Think of it like strengthening a muscle. The more you practice these tools, the stronger your relationship becomes. And today, I'm going to share exactly how you can do that so you can face challenges together and come out even stronger. All right, let's take a quick look at where we're headed today. Here's the roadmap. We're going to tackle 5 of the most popular relationship myths out there, ones you've probably heard or even said yourself. Number 1 is never go to bed angry. Number 2, happy couples don't fight. Number 3, constructive criticism improves relationships. Number 4, supporting my partner means offering solutions. And number 5, my partner should know what I need. Be honest, how many of these have you heard before? Or better yet, how many do you secretly believe are true? Don't worry, no judgment here. By the end of this session, you'll not only know why these are myths, but I'll also give you tools that actually work to replace them. Oh, and one more thing. If you have questions along the way, drop them in the comments because I'll be circling back to answer them at the end. So stick around, you don't want to miss that. All right, let's start with myth number 1. You've probably heard this one before. Never go to bed angry. It sounds wise, but let me ask you, how well do you communicate when you're exhausted? If you're anything like me, late night problem solving is a disaster waiting to happen. Here's the truth. Research shows it's not only okay, but actually better to pause the conversation and revisit it when you're both rested and calm. Taking a break isn't avoidance, it's setting yourselves up for success. So instead of hashing it out at midnight, give yourself permission to hit the pause button. It's the kind of strategy that helps you wake up ready to approach things with a clearer head and a little more kindness. When emotions run high, your body kicks into overdrive. Your heart is racing, your thoughts are jumbled, and suddenly every word feels like it's adding fuel to the fire. This is what we call flooding. So, what's the solution? Pause, step away, take a breather, literally. Maybe that means going for a quick walk, listening to calming music, watching a funny TikTok, or just sitting in silence for a bit. Once you've given yourself time to self-soothe, you can come back to the conversation with a clear head and an open heart. It's not about avoiding the issue, but rather setting yourselves up for a conversation that's actually productive and kind. Trust me, you'll thank yourself later. So let's break down why emotional flooding can derail even the best intentions in a conversation. When you're flooded, it's like your brain hits the panic button. Your heart's racing, adrenaline is pumping, and suddenly your partner feels less like your teammate and more like a sparring partner. In this state, productive communication, forget about it. It's like trying to reason with a toddler in the candy aisle. There's chaos, tunnel vision, and zero logic. But don't worry, it's not a sign that you're bad at communicating. It's simply your body's fight or flight response kicking in. And here's the good news. Recognizing when you're flooded is a superpower. It gives you the chance to hit pause, take a step back, and calm your nervous system. Taking a break isn't backing down, it's setting yourself up for a real meaningful conversation later. So, what do you do when you realize that you're flooded? Let's break it down into simple steps. First, pause when you're flooded. It's okay to say, I need a break. Recognizing when you're at your limit isn't weakness, it's strategy. Check your heart rate. If you or your partner's heart rate is over 90 beats per minute, your brain is in fight or flight mode, and calm problem solving is officially off the table. After you pause, agree to a time to resume. This isn't to sweep the issue under the rug. The key is to reassure your partner that you will come back to the discussion soon. So wait at least 30 minutes, but less than 24 hours to come back to the topic. Then go ahead and do something to self-soothe. Find something that helps you decompress and take your mind off the conflict. Do something that genuinely calms you, maybe a walk or some deep breaths or listening to your favorite playlist. By the time you come back together, you'll both be in a calmer place, clear, and ready to solve the problem instead of escalating it. All right, let's tackle myth number 2. Happy couples don't fight. Here's the truth. Every couple has disagreements. The difference between struggling couples and thriving ones isn't whether they argue, but how they handle those arguments. Avoiding conflict entirely can lead to deeper resentment, disconnection, and even bigger problems down the line. But when couples address issues respectfully and productively, those conversations can actually bring them closer, building trust and strengthening their emotional bond. Conflict is inevitable, but it's also an opportunity to grow together. Let's talk about why avoiding conflict doesn't solve anything. It actually creates more distance. Research shows that when couples shy away from addressing issues, those unresolved tensions don't just fade away. Instead, they linger, often growing into resentment, disconnection, or even bigger challenges like infidelity. But here's the silver lining. Conflict, when approached with curiosity and empathy, can actually deepen your connection. It's an opportunity to understand each other on a more meaningful level and to build trust. Instead of letting issues fester, learning how to address them with care helps keep your relationship strong, and it fosters intimacy. When we sweep issues under the rug, it's like planting little landmines in our relationship. We're bound to trip over them later. Sure, avoiding conflict might feel like an easier option in the moment, but it often comes at the cost of connection. Over time, unresolved issues can lead to disconnection, resentment, and even bigger challenges. Studies show that couples who avoid conflict altogether are at higher risk for more significant problems down the road. But the good news is that conflict doesn't have to be destructive. In fact, couples who approach conflict constructively often come out stronger with more trust and understanding than before. Conflict, when handled well, can actually become a pathway to greater intimacy. So instead of fearing it, let's learn how to embrace it with tools that build bridges, not walls. Let's talk about how to fight right, because conflict isn't the enemy, disconnection is. Here are a few simple ways to keep things productive when emotions run high. Use I statements. Instead of saying, "You never listen to me," try, "I feel unheard when, dot, dot, dot." It's less like lighting a match and more like inviting a conversation. I statements create emotional safety, which is exactly what we need during those tough conversations. Next, listen actively. This means listening to understand, not just waiting for your turn to talk. Put down the phone, look your partner in the eyes, nod, and say things like, "That makes sense," or "Good point." Active listening isn't just polite, it's powerful for building trust. Also, focus on one issue at a time. Resist the urge to bring up that time they forgot your birthday 3 years ago while discussing who is taking out the trash today. Stick to one issue with no kitchen sinking. It's the difference between untangling one knot versus the whole ball of yarn. At the end of the day, the goal isn't to win the argument. It's to understand each other better, strengthen your connection, and show up as a team, even when you don't see eye to eye. Let's talk about repair attempts. Think of them as little olive branches that help de-escalate tension and bring you back to connection. Here are some practical ways to make repair attempts a habit. Use humor. A well-timed, gentle joke can work wonders. Just keep it light and avoid sarcasm. You can also validate your partner, acknowledging their feelings, like saying, "I hear you, and what you're feeling matters." A simple, "I can see why you'd feel that way," can soften the conflict and make your partner feel understood. Also, provide reassurance. Let your partner know you're in this together. A heartfelt, "We'll figure this out," can feel like an emotional anchor in a stormy moment. Accept repair attempts. If your partner tries to lighten the mood or apologize, embrace it. For example, if they offer a silly smile and say, "Okay, truce," don't hold on to the anger. Lean into the moment to reconnect. These small but powerful actions can transform a heated exchange into an opportunity for deeper connection. The goal is to practice reaching for each other even when things feel hard. All right, let's dive into myth number 3. Constructive criticism improves relationships. I hate to burst this bubble, but here's the truth. Criticism, even when it's labeled constructive, often feels more like an attack than a helpful suggestion. Think about the last time someone helpfully pointed out how you could improve, like telling you how to load the dishwasher the right way. Did it make you want to change? Criticism puts people on the defensive. And when we're defensive, connection gets shut down. Instead of feeling closer, it creates a wedge. Here's a better approach. Instead of pointing out what's wrong, focus on what's going well. For example, if your partner does something small that makes you feel appreciated, acknowledge it. This creates a positive atmosphere and makes it more likely they'll want to keep meeting your needs. When there's something you'd like to see changed, lead with what you feel and what you need. Instead of saying, "Oh, you never help around the house," try, "I feel overwhelmed, and it would mean a lot if we could share the chores more evenly." This invites collaboration instead of conflict. The key is shifting from criticism to curiosity and appreciation. It's not about ignoring what needs improvement, it's about framing it in a way that fosters connection, not conflict. Let's talk about why criticism doesn't work. When we focus on what our partner is doing wrong, it builds walls instead of bridges. Criticism doesn't motivate change. It often creates distance, disconnection, and even resentment. And trust, it starts to erode. Not exactly the recipe for a happy, thriving relationship. But don't worry, there's a better way to communicate your needs without shutting each other down. Let's explore that next. Let's be real, none of us like being told what we're doing wrong. It's like being handed a report card full of F's. That's where expressing positive needs comes in. It's a way to flip the script and focus on what you do want instead of what you don't want. For example, instead of saying, "You never help around the house," try, "It would mean a lot if you could handle dinner tomorrow." See the difference? One feels like a complaint, the other feels like an invitation. This shift moves the conversation from blame to a clear, actionable request, and it's much more likely to get a positive response. When you frame your needs positively, it's a subtle way of saying, "Hey, we're on the same team." And when your partner feels like a teammate instead of an opponent, magic happens. It's a simple change, but it can make all the difference in keeping your connection strong. Let's talk about the power of the first 3 minutes in any conflict conversation. Did you know that the way you start sets the tone for how things are likely to go 96% of the time? That is huge. So if you jump in with, "You never listen to me," chances are it's not going to end with, "You're absolutely right, let's fix this." Instead, try the gentle startup. It's a simple 3-step structure that keeps the conversation calm and constructive. You start with, "I feel." This lets your partner know where you're coming from emotionally. For example, "I feel disconnected." Add, "About what?" This gives context without blame. You might say, "I feel disconnected since we haven't had a date night in a few weeks." Then you finish with what you need. This is your clear, actionable request. "I'd love to look at our calendars tonight and plan a date night for this month." See how that works? It's not about pointing fingers, it's about opening the door to a productive dialogue. Using this approach helps your partner hear you without getting defensive and shows them you're looking for a solution, not a fight. At the end of the day, this little formula can take what could be a blow up and turn it into a buildup of connection and understanding. Give it a try and watch the difference it makes. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like the little things you do for your partner go unnoticed? If you have, you're not alone. And guess what? Your partner might feel the same exact way. One of the simplest ways to improve your relationship is by shifting your focus from criticism to appreciation. When you intentionally look for what your partner is doing right, whether it's something as small as reading the kids' bedtime stories or making coffee in the morning, it changes the tone of your connection. Here's an eye-opening fact from the research. Unhappy couples miss about 50% of each other's positive actions. Think about that. Half of the good stuff is flying under the radar. By making appreciation a daily habit, you're not just training your brain to recognize those moments, You're also building a foundation of trust and positivity. It's like watering the flowers in your relationship garden. Small, consistent efforts that help it grow and thrive. So here's your challenge. What is one thing about your partner that they've done recently that you can appreciate? Whether it's big or small, notice it, acknowledge it, and let them know. You'll be amazed at how this simple habit can make a big difference. Have you ever been caught off guard with a complaint from your partner? Maybe it sounded like criticism at first, but underneath there was something more. Dr. John Gottman puts it beautifully. Behind every complaint, there is a deep personal longing. Complaints aren't just random frustrations, they're signals of unmet needs or desires. When someone says, "You never spend time with me," what they're really saying is, "I miss you and I want to feel closer." Here's the key. Instead of reacting defensively, pause and ask yourself, what is the deeper need here? What's my partner really longing for? It could be connection, reassurance, feeling valued, or something else. By shifting your mindset to look beyond the complaint, you create an opportunity for empathy and understanding. So the next time a complaint surfaces, whether it's yours or your partner's, ask this simple question. What's the need or longing underneath this? You'll be amazed at how this small shift can turn conflict into connection. Let's remember, every complaint is a chance to better understand each other. All right, myth number 4, supporting my partner means offering solutions. We've all been there. Your partner starts venting about a tough day at work and your brain immediately goes into fix-it mode. You're thinking, all right, let's solve this. But jumping straight to solutions can actually make your partner feel unheard or dismissed. Imagine this. Your partner says, "I'm so overwhelmed at work." And instead of letting them share more, you respond, "Why don't you just delegate more?" Suddenly, what could have been an opportunity to connect becomes a source of frustration. Often, what your partner truly needs is not a solution, it's understanding. A simple listening ear can go a long way in helping them feel supported. Often, the best way to support your partner is to simply be present and listen without judgment. Aim for connection, not correction. When your partner is stressed, showing empathy creates a sense of safety. Instead of jumping in to fix-it mode, take a step back and focus on truly hearing them. Empathy means being present and making sure your partner feels supported without needing to solve the problem for them. For example, if your partner says, "I'm so overwhelmed with work," responding with, "That sounds really tough. I can see why you're feeling this way," acknowledges their emotions. Compare that to saying, "Why don't you delegate more?" which may unintentionally send the message that they're not capable of handling things. When we go straight to advice or solutions, it can feel dismissive, even if our intentions are good. Your partner may just want to feel understood and valued. Thinking of yourself as a port in the storm helps shift your mindset. You're offering a safe space, not steering the ship. Here's a simple tip. Before you respond, ask yourself, am I about to fix or to connect? This pause can help you offer the understanding your partner needs most in that moment. When your partner is upset, it can be hard not to jump in with solutions. Here's how you can show support instead. Listen with empathy and provide emotional support. Be fully present and show that you care. Simple phrases like, "I'm so sorry you're going through this," or "I'm here for you," can go a long way in helping your partner feel seen and supported. Don't minimize or judge their emotions. Avoid dismissive comments like, "It's not a big deal," or "Why does this bother you so much?" What might seem small to you could feel overwhelming to them. Validating their emotions, even when you don't completely understand, builds trust and connection. This is a big one. Do not side with the enemy. If they're venting about a friend or coworker, resist saying things like, "Maybe they didn't mean it that way." Instead, respond with empathy. "That sounds frustrating. I get why you're upset." It's not about solving the problem, but being on their team in that moment. And trust their ability to find their own solutions. Sometimes the best support is creating a safe space for your partner to process their feelings. By not rushing in with advice, you're reinforcing your belief in their resilience and resourcefulness. The next time you feel the urge to fix something, pause and ask yourself, what does my partner really need right now? Or you could even ask them that same question. Often it's not a solution, they just want to feel understood and supported. Most of the time, that is all that they need to feel better. And finally, myth number 5, my partner should know what I need. We've all been there thinking if they really love me, they'd know what I need right now. But here's the truth, your partner isn't a mind reader. Expecting them to magically guess what you need leads to frustration for both of you. Instead of hoping they'll pick up on clues, try being direct about your needs. For example, say, it would mean a lot if we could spend some time together tonight, instead of waiting for them to guess that you feel disconnected. Clear communication is a relationship superpower. It not only sets your partner up for success, but also strengthens your relationship by fostering trust and understanding. Remember, expressing what you need doesn't make it less meaningful. It makes it more likely to happen. The next time you catch yourself thinking, they should know this already, pause and ask yourself, have I actually said it out loud recently? If not, that's your clue to share. Think of it this way. Expecting your partner to anticipate your needs without guidance is like handing them a box of puzzle pieces with no reference image and saying, figure it out. It's frustrating for both of you and almost guarantees that the picture won't come together. Instead, be clear and positive about what you need. For example, instead of saying, you never listen to me, try, I'd love if we could set aside 10 minutes tonight to talk about my day. Swap, you're always on your computer with, can we have a screen-free dinner tonight? I'd love to connect with you. Being direct isn't demanding. It's giving your partner the tools to show up for you in meaningful ways. When you approach this with kindness and clarity, you make it easier for your partner to meet your needs and to strengthen your connection. Practice phrasing your needs like an invitation to connect rather than a critique. It makes all the difference. When expressing your needs, think of it as giving your partner a helpful map to support you. Be specific. Avoid general statements like, I wish you'd help more. Instead, say, could you take care of dinner on Tuesdays? It would really help me out. This creates clarity and removes guesswork. Also, be positive. Turn complaints into actionable requests. For example, replace, you never spend time with me with, I'd love to plan a date night for this weekend. You also want to be direct. Avoid sarcasm or hints. Just say what you need with kindness. Phrases like, it would mean a lot to me if ... Invite your partner into the conversation without feeling accused. Remember, expressing your needs effectively strengthens connection. When you're clear and kind, you create opportunities for teamwork and mutual understanding. Building this habit can bring a sense of safety and trust to your relationship. Positive needs are a way to express what would help you feel supported, loved, or valued without focusing on flaws or frustrations. For instance, instead of saying, you never help me, try, I'd love your help with the party prep this weekend. Can you pick up the balloons? This approach is more likely to inspire cooperation because it invites your partner into a shared goal. Yes, it can feel vulnerable to ask for what you need, but being open about what would make you feel loved or supported encourages your partner to step up. When you're specific and positive, it reduces defensiveness and it makes it easier for them to respond positively. Here are a few more examples. I'd feel more loved if we cuddled in bed this Saturday morning. Or hearing I love you more often would mean so much to me. Here's a quick exercise. Think of one positive need that you could express to your partner this week. Positive needs don't just communicate what you want, they also reinforce teamwork and emotional safety, which helps your relationship thrive. So now that we've tackled these common myths, you're probably starting to see just how important it is to shift the way we communicate. Can you see how applying these insights could transform your relationship? Take a moment and think about everything we've discussed so far. Out of all of the tools and ideas we've covered, which one do you feel could make the biggest difference in your relationship? Is it expressing your needs more clearly, embracing the gentle startup, focusing on appreciation instead of criticism, or maybe something else? Let me know in the comments because I would love to hear what resonates with you most. And remember, even small changes can create a powerful ripple effect in the way you and your partner connect and communicate. I hope this overview has given you some valuable insights and maybe even sparked a few aha moments about what's possible for your relationship. But it's important to remember that meaningful, lasting transformation doesn't come from just knowing what to do. It comes from practicing and applying these tools consistently. Think of it like going to the gym. You wouldn't expect to build strength after just one session. It's a great start, but real results come from consistent, steady effort over time. Relationships work the same way. The good news? You've already taken the first step in the right direction.